Alright, and 3, 2, 1, here we are with game 2. Looking around the beautiful nighttime venue. And here we are at the table. Starting game 2. Cinderace Cody is playing on your right, where you have a Rillaboom Cody, his opponent on your left. Cinderace Cody took the first win. Rillaboom Cody decided to go second for this game, so we will see Cinderace Cody started off. Looks like he's starting with the Zigzagoon active, which is fine. It's not your most ideal starter, but its tree cost is low. You really don't need it in this matchup, so if it gets knocked out, whatever. It's not a bench sitter because you can just scoop net later to get it out if you need it. Definitely, I'm not the most ideal, but of course, it's fine. It's serviceable. Here we are throwing away a welder. It's kind of interesting. Let's see, he has one in hand. We can always get him back with the Mewtwo. So that's the resource that he thinks is most valuable. So Cinderace Cody here can just take this game and put this series away if he's able to. But as we saw the last game, he looks like he took it pretty handily. But this game, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it looks like he decided to save the wanted to save the energy. Could have thrown energy away, but kind of wanted to save it to guarantee that full welder for next turn. And then he's a Pokecom to get a VMAX out. So understandable why he decided to throw away the welder. But looks like that hand does not matter. Even though it's a 4-card hand, it's a really good hand. And now the downside to this is he does not have a way to get out. His chance of throwing the welder are very low. One on the discard pile and the one at the bottom of the deck. So if he has one prized, he's only looking at one in 4 cards. And yeah, it looks like there's no welder in there. I can't tell what that Dubwool, and looks like another Pokemon, probably a Cinderace. So that's unfortunate for sure. Looks like his opponent's trying to get that turn 1 Super Growth off. Was unable to do it last game, and it's not looking like it's going to happen this game either. Even though it's got 4 switches, looks like there's none in that opening hand or with the Marnie. So gonna still go for the Aggro, but I did not see a way for him to get the Super Growth off turn 1. So just gonna be settling in for a turn 1 pass more than likely. I don't think he had much else in his hand going on. And nope, he did not. Saving the stadium for the counter stadium. And gonna jump right into Cinderace Cody's turn. Let's see, his hand was super dead. No supporters, no Jirachi. Just gonna attach pass. It looks like Rillaboom Cody there has a much better hand. Top decks the energy is the bait. Has the option between the Marnie and the Juniper. Looks like he's going to go for the Marnie. Does not, or Juniper. Sorry, Professor's Research. That is a proxy for Professor's Research. It's not Juniper. So that's a whole messed up turn for me. Your wonderful commentator, Cody. Anyway, looks like he wanted to get the Weakness Guard. Chose not to attach the grass. Has the Ordinary Rod for later to get some grass back, and I believe he has the Energy Recycler in his list. I can't quite remember. But just get a net ball, so it gets to get something else down. We'll choose to get another, maybe guarantee another Grookey in play, or start getting the Rillabooms going. Looks like he's gonna go for the Rillaboom. Decides that one Grookey is enough. But yeah, getting the Weakness Guard down is so big. He can't win this game with the Weakness Guard. If he doesn't get a Weakness Guard turn 2. That's not good. I mean, all it would take would be for Cinderace Cody to top deck a Boss's Orders this turn and take 3 prizes. So this looks like a fine setup. He's going to get the switch in hand, so he's going to get the Super Growth. Looks like he's debating throwing in energy and throwing away another Quick Ball. Plays 4, he's going to play them both. He's going to throw away 3 energy this turn. And I believe he's got 12 or 13 grass energy in there, so plenty of energy. And again, he does have the Ordinary Rod, and I believe he has Recycler. I want to say it's both. So yeah, let's get a second Rillaboom down. Gonna leave himself with a completely empty hand, but he's got no Dedenne in this deck, no Jirachi, so there's really nothing else he could have grabbed. So just thin, and gonna get the super growth then even more, and yeah. So we're getting some thinning down. We probably would have preferred a supporter in hand, but got through a lot of resources, and now he's gonna start chewing through more energy every turn, and gonna start getting the deck down to what he's gonna need. It's a pretty fine turn all in all, especially if he can get a supporter. Top decking a supporter or Juniper. First research would be gross. As for Cinderace, Cody, he doesn't have a whole lot. We'll be able to get an attack off with a scoop up net and a manual attachment, so attack is happening. But what else? No weakness. So it's just only do 140 and gonna get the Life Force, and if he decides to Calming Hurricane, gonna be taking 90 of that back. So effectively only doing 50 damage this turn is not so great. And top dexing a great catcher for Rillaboom Cody. That's not great either, but he's able to get the voltage beat going, and he's debating. I'm not sure quite what he's debating on, but the Life Force there, and decides to get that voltage beat going. So we'll get the attack and heal back to 50, which is pretty good. Can't complain about going back to 50 health after taking an attack. And gonna be getting some damage on his opponent's side. All in all, just a fair turn. Neither player has a lot happening though, so we're gonna be seeing a lot of attack passing, a lot of draw passing. Cinderace Cody's gonna have to debate now whether he wants to attack again to lose 2 prizes and just do 50 damage. It's probably not worth it. We'll have the free retreat thanks to Cinderace V's ability. Gets his own stadium down though, so we'll stop the Life Force. However, he's still not doing very much damage, considerably, and he will get knocked out. So does Giant Hearth. We'll see what he decides to do. This is not great at all. Really needs a welder going. Does not play any way to get rid of that special energy, so that special energy is here for the full game. No weakness will be happening. And as I play the double down, attach, and looks like we're going to get a pass. Trying to buy, looks like you can buy 2 turns with that double. And I think that's what he's planning to do. Probably not going to attack with it, just going to, would rather sacrifice a double or at least a turn of double and try to get something going. So, not much going on Cinderace Cody's turn. Rillaboom Cody's turn, sorry. Looks like he did not voltage beat. Forgot to do the voltage beat. Did manual for turn, but did not voltage beat. So that's a shame. But it happens in the heat of the game. Cinderace Cody here. So that did Dedenne he top deck. That is, yep, top deck's the Dedenne. Super good top deck. If you can just fall into a welder, still has that Giant Hearth in play. I don't see a welder though. Yeah, looking not spine a welder that hand. You just have the Pokecom and the Jirachi. We're gonna get like, do you have a switch maybe? Go into the Jirachi. It looks like Jirachi is coming down. Alright, and Jirachi's down. What else do we got going on? Pokecom. Debate throwing away the Pokecom with the Hearth. Just trying to maximize those odds. I can't see. I know that he's -1 welder. I have not been able to spy how many welders are in there. The fact that he's having trouble, granted he's just been draw passing, so really not indicative of what's in deck and what's in prizes. Can't see much of that hand besides the Heatran. So you do have the switch, so we're going to get a Jirachi. Moving. Are we going to get a welder? Cinderace Cody definitely hopes so. He's going to start falling really far behind. There's so much damage on his board. Get the Pokegear. That's serviceable. It's not a Jirachi. It's not a welder, but it can get you there because gets to see a couple more cards than Jirachi does. So we'll try this again. But yeah, there is 300 damage on his board currently. Not that Rillaboom Cody has any spread, but boss's orders are going to make really quick work of his remaining bench Pokemon. And did not see what was in that hand, but Cinderace Cody grabbed nothing. A big fat nothing there. Debating if wanted to play any other cards. Probably not gonna. So I couldn't even get a Malana, boss's orders. Nothing. Anything would have been fine. Would have been thinning. Well, there was preferred, but can't see what else. Looks like he does have the VMAX. So decides to get a healthy VMAX going. And I believe he already attached per turn. And yeah, I think that's the end of his turn. So we see Rillaboom Cody on the other side. His hand's bad, but he's got a better board state. Kind of. They're both doing a little rough, for sure. Looks like he is going to remember to voltage beat this turn, though. If he voltage beated last turn, I have no mic. I don't have a mic. Alright, let's see. Do I got a mic now? Go. Alright, and had some mic issues. We're going to keep this going, though. We do it live here. We're all on the fly here. So we are seeing, hopefully that recorded, we are seeing him kind of take his time with his shuffling. Definitely going to have to acknowledge that in the future games. Work on some quicker shuffling techniques for both players. And gets the voltage beat down, looks like that's all we missed. And decides to not voltage beat to the active to prepare for a GX. Just goes, takes the prize, gets the weakness guard off the top deck, so that's always nice. Get off the top prize, so get both weakness guards in play. And his board state is a little better. Interesting enough, Cody promotes the damaged Cinderace. I guess it's got free retreat, so it's totally fine. Maybe hoping to sneak up Malon off top deck. Doing some head math here. What is he going to go for? Is the attack worth it? He's going to do... There's no life force in play. He's doing a bit more damage than the Cinderace. So the attack is definitely worth it, I would say. He's going to get some good damage on the board. Going to have to attack into this weakness guard anyway. So Heatran comes up. And Giant Hearth. So is he going to go for... a GX this turn? He could go for a GX, but that's literally that would take all 6 of his energy to get knockout, and with Heatran, and then he would immediately get knocked out back by Rillaboom V. So it's thinks about it, but yeah, don't think it's worth it, especially with no welder. He's just got to take the safe play, get some damage on the board. Board state's looking a little scrunched there. Gets Cinderace V down. VMAX in play. We're doing some burn. We're doing 170. The burn stays or doesn't stay. The players are having a bit of discussion about it. Tails means it does not stay. That's what the discussion was about. And yeah, we get the 190 all in all. No, there is a Malana, I believe, on Rillaboom Cody's side, so he can try to get out. I think there's 2, but he gets the Marnie. I don't think he wants the Marnie. His opponent is drawing obviously very dead, and so make them. If he had a welder, he would have played it. If he had anything else, probably would have played it. So he's debating. He does choose not to voltage beat that turn. It's fine, but now it gives him a decision. He can voltage beat this turn with the energy in hand, but that's uses both weakness guards. So he's using both weakness guard, but he is going to push his opponent back so far with that GX. If he doesn't top deck a welder. The other thing is, if he top decks a welder, it's almost kind of pointless. So does he want to GX here? If he doesn't, he's dying. If he doesn't GX here, he's definitely dying. He does have some switch out, so he could just go into a Rillaboom V but that's also going to immediately die and not take a knockout. So there's some decisions to be made on Rillaboom Cody's board state. Does decide to go for the 6 energy, double weakness guard, and tropical hour, I believe. Man, I used to know these so well. I'm surprised I'm struggling on this. I know a lot of things about cards, but for some reason my mind is blanking. But I believe that's tropical hour GX. That does 200 damage. Looks like we just threw some damage on it. We'll get that adjusted when Cinderace Cody takes his turn. But yeah, 200 damage and shuffle all energy from your opponent's side back into their deck. So Cinderace Cody has a bad hand, a really bad hand, and yeah, gets that damage. Damage situated now. He has a bad hand, and now he has more energy in deck, so lowering his top deck percentage by quite a bit. Top deck's a giant hearth. Would love to just get a Pokeball, a quick ball, a welder, anything. Yeah, quick ball would be fine because you get Mewtwo in play, or get Jirachi in play, but instead we're just getting a giant hearth for 2. Working on thinning again. We just have the option to retreat here. Trying to just hold on as long as he can to try to squeeze back in this game. I believe that's what he's probably going to do. There's not a lot of options you can go into, so almost everyone is within a breath reach. So probably just going to go into the Dedenne here. Gonna get some energy on Heatran, get some energy on the Healthy Boy. I understand it. And yeah, I would imagine he retreats, and he could sack double here, but there's no reason not to sack not to sack Dedenne, but it also actually buys you another turn. Because he's not getting knocked out unless he chooses to switch, which he could do. We do see he has got multiple switches in his hand. And yeah, the play, if you've noticed, the burn has not been happening for the last couple turns. Unfortunately, there's no live judge. There's only Judge Shiva, the kitty cat. Does not do the best live judging. So unfortunately, if some players miss things, they just get missed. My sources tell me that will be getting resolved shortly, but unfortunately at the moment, if it is driving you nuts, it is going to get ignored until the players realize what's going on, because our judge has missed it. But yeah, the burn flips and damage has not been being applied. We're going to get the 3 energy back with the energy recycler. Decides this is a good time to activate that. And we start pumping up another attacker. We're getting 3 attackers in. Looks like this Rillaboom VMAX deck doesn't even decides to pile it all on the V. Interesting, because he's thinking maybe if he needs to go with a VMAX to have more energy on, but the VMAX should not be touching the board at this point. The Vs, with how much damage is on the field, the Vs can do more than enough. There's no weakness guard left, and so you don't want to give away an easy 3-prizer. But we'll see what he does. Decides to just saving the Marnie, saving the switches. He could have switched into the V, but thinks that it's fine how it is. Gets some healing going, and just preserve the V for when you really need it. Another giant earth. You see the reaction from a competitor, Cinderace Cody. He's not happy about that. Hitting most of his stadiums. Keep just piling a handful of energy. Eventually, there'll be a welder. Eventually, I would imagine he's going to giant hearth away the giant hearth here. Oh no, it says energy away the giant hearth. Interesting. I wonder why he saved. Why he decided to save the giant hearth. Maybe he was thinking to bump a turf field that might come on next, but or just to have the giant hearth in case turf field comes, so we can keep thinning. That's probably more the play. He's probably not worried about the turf field itself. He just wants the thinning option. So we get Rillaboom. Cody immediately takes his turn, gets the netball. Doesn't really mean anything. I guess it gets an energy in hand so we can attach and voltage beat. But we do got to be getting low on energy. Looks like we have 11 energy in play right now. So I'm not sure what else is left. Yeah, I think he's debating if he even needs to. It's only two grass there, so don't even need to use that ball to do it. Unless I miscounted, he's probably going to just grab something just to get it out. I think he's double checking for grass one more time and kind of doing some math. And looking for ordinary rod. Ordinary rod's still there, so he can, even though he's low on grass, he can still get some grass back and then immediately voltage beat it. So as long as he gets into the ordinary rod, he will be able to get those two grass that he can ordinary rod in and get them attached to the second Rillaboom V. That's probably what he's thinking about right now. But he's going to voltage beat, looks like, onto that Rillaboom V. So I have two attackers that can do 220. If you don't know, Rillaboom V has a pretty usable second attack. For 4 energy, does 220 and 32 himself. So nothing fantastic, but 220 is a lot of rev. It's a lot of damage. It takes out your Cinderace, takes out anything on this board, especially in this board state. There's not a single Pokemon that will take 220. And so it looks like it's especially helpful because we are going to get Cinderace, or Rillaboom Cody is going to go up, take a knockout here. Looks like here the players are realizing the burn issue though, so doing some kind of discussion amongst themselves, trying to figure out, decides to do some flips, looks like, and retroactively add some burn damage, deciding to stay burn and add just a turn of burn damage, so he probably should have kept rolling until it looks like they had 2 turns of burn damage there and stay burned. So that's probably not fair. Should probably take more damage than that, but could do a couple more flips. Flips again, stays burned. Debating doing a 3rd turn of burn damage. Looks like we're getting a 3rd turn of burn damage, I believe, or the healing. Yeah, no, 2 turns of burn damage, and then the healing from Tropical Hour. I think is what they decided on, or Calming Hurricane. Sorry, I think that's what players decided on. And probably not entirely fair for Cinderace Cody, but that's what, without a judge present, that's what the players went for. So, a little camera shaking there, and we are off to our next turn. But Cinderace is still active. Prizes forgot to be taken, so Cinderace Cody hands his opponents his prizes, and then we are getting the knockout of Cinderace. And so we got the Thwacky and the Switch. Nothing spectacular. You can start building a second Rillaboom, but it literally doesn't matter. He only will have enough energy for 1 voltage beat left. And even if he doesn't get that, that's probably fine. You do get a top deck of a Scoop Up Net. And it's nothing special. Just decide to throw away the Giant Hearth to get some energy. We're almost out of energy at this point. It's all getting in hand. We are going to get a knockout, I believe. Can't see exactly how much damage that Eggrow has on it, but yeah, accidentally detaches the 2 energy. I can't do that. Giant Hearth is not lets you attach 2 energy to your Pokemon. That would be a banned stadium, for sure. Any acceleration stadium. As far as I know, I don't know if we've ever gotten acceleration, energy acceleration stadiums in the past. Looks like there's a bit of an issue. We'll be right back. Nope, there it goes. Yeah, it looks like there was an issue with my camera. I don't know if that kept on your guys' end or not. Maybe it's a delay in the stream. Who knows? But apologize if you guys saw that, or maybe it's just my what I'm seeing. And if that's the case, I apologize for the confused commentating. Looks like we're going to get 3 prizes. That's a boss's orders. So Giovanni's Exile are counting as boss's orders right now. And still no other. Jirachi, though, is nice. But how little too late. Just get the top deck of the Ordinary Rod, which is a wonderful top deck. Because he can immediately get 2 energy back and then put it right down. So I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's debating if he wants to Marnie this turn now, because his opponent has a larger hand. He knows it's mostly fire energy though, so is it worth the Marnie? What do you get off the prizes? His hand clearly has not been that good, so you're just debating, are those prizes worth it? You do get to put it into a 3-card hand though, So I would probably Marnie this turn. But he does decide to Ordinary Rod and then Voltage Beat those right back. Does not get any Pokemon, did not see, just the energy. Yes, I think he's thumbing the Marnie. I think that's the right play. Yep, that's the Marnie. Tries to stick his opponent. So we are tied here at 3-3, but the board states are not equal. That Tropical Hour was just killer in an already bad board state. We've gone looks like we're 25 minutes into the match, and there has not been a welder played. Anyone who plays welder decks know that if you're going this far in a match, what are we, like turn 8 or something, I feel like, and you have not played a welder, then there's not much you can do. This has just been a lot of, there's been 9, so I think 6, I think there was 6 energy removed from the board, so there's been 9 manual attachments. So this is turn 9. The end of turn 9, yeah, I believe, because I don't think he ever missed a manual attachment. So I'm not sure what Rillaboom Cody is looking for there. Debating on something. Did get the Thwacky down. I apologize, I did not mention. He does decide to do the turf field. Oh, puts the giant. Not your card, buddy. You don't play Giant Hearth. Does put down the turf field. Looks like he has a VMAX in hand though, as well as the Rillaboom. And decides, yep, that's the turf field stadium to grab the other VMAX just to get it out. Dead card. Hopefully does not put it down. I don't think he will, but it's absolutely not necessary in this match. There's no math it fixes, at least at the moment, and really nothing else that Cody, Cinderace Cody can even put down. It's the 280 that it can do is especially good for tag teams. It's not as good for VMAXs, and in a game where you have no longer have access to your weakness guard, not worth it. But he's get the knockout there. Takes 30 to himself. Totally fine. His opponent has no energy on the board. Looks like the Marnie was not great to him. Maybe it might be Mewtwo there. Just get the reset stamp. So promotes the free retreater. It's a top deck of a welder. Maybe it's an air balloon. Can't quite tell. Looks like it might be an air balloon. I do believe I see the Mewtwo though. So we're gonna get. A Mewtwo will eventually lead to a welder, but I don't think he has any way of actually getting it this turn. So he's got to get something down though, because if he does not get a new active Pokemon, the game is over. Unless he just something different with his opponent's board state. Gonna get a nice slow shuffle there. Need to be speeding up our shuffles, boys. And quick ball, that's what we see on Rillaboom Cody's side, but Cinderace Cody does not see that. But yeah, it looks like is gonna get a quick ball. I do still think he had the Mewtwo though, so debating what the quick ball for. Probably Dedenne. But imagine we're gonna get Mewtwo and then Dedenne. That feels pretty good. Yep. Does get the Dedenne down. Or will get the Dedenne down, sorry. It's currently it's shown on the board, but it's technically currently in hand. But yeah, what is his win condition? He has to get a healthy attacker. He's got to hope he has one more Cinderace and VMAX in deck. He should have two, at least he should have 2 VMAX left, so unless they're both prized, I don't think he threw one away. But does he have that last Cinderace V available to him? That's his only win condition. Or Maul and Lana. He could Maul and Lana, but just put the Mewtwo down. Are we going to see the welder? Probably a welder than Dedenne. Looks like the one welder discarded very early is the only welder he has seen. Oh, Maul and Lana. Interesting. Decides to go for the Maul and Lana, even though he just discarded it. I guess just to get the Dedenne, which was fine. So I'm not sure what what thought process was there, but thought maybe that he would have plenty of access to other welders or just hit a scoop up net later. I'm getting some debate there. What to do. Thinking if he wants to bench another Cinderace. I think he has to. I think that's his one condition back in this game. And that's, yep, do see the Cinderace benched. Got to start loading up on it. But he's got to do something. But he's got to do something. Nope, we are not getting the Jirachi. Just debating. We are getting the Jirachi. So Jirachi's coming down instead, and we're gonna get a boss's orders. Looks like he might be gonna be doing some stall. That is a genius play on Cinderace Cody's side, putting his opponent to a 1-card hand, and then with a reset stamp, and then putting out a, I believe, 3 or 4 retreat, bulky Rillaboom. Get the Stellar Wish. Looks like we are still not a welder. Maybe a welder there, and maybe Cody has one in hand. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, he's going to buy himself possibly a couple turns, possibly a lot of turns. We know there's still some switch in deck. I don't know if he's really, but I think he's played maybe 1 switch, so there should still be like 3 or 4 switches. Or sorry, 2 or 3 switches in deck. And just have a couple of Malo and Lana. And draw supporters. Really a lot. Like he's used a lot of all of his quick balls and all of his energy, just about, and most of his Pokemon. So it's just going to be leaving really just items. Or just supporters and a couple of loose items. So I'm not sure how thick the deck is. It's hard to tell from this angle. But I do think that was the best play. We're going to get the Scoop Up Net. And Cinderace is coming down. Not Mewtwo. So choosing to keep that Jirachi active and just going to pass. He's just going to hope. If his opponent's got it, he's got it, but he needs that Jirachi. He needs to be getting a welder. He doesn't have a giant hearth either, so maybe he had the option to get the welder with the Pokegear, but what good would that be without energy? So he's hoping to probably get the giant hearth off the Jirachi, and then Pokegear for it. So it looks like Rillaboom Cody here has the game eventually. He's got the boss's orders top deck. Is he going to use it? He should not be using it. He could just save it. Oh, he uses it. That's a misplay right there. So if he just would have saved that in hand, we know that his opponent has no more reset stamps. Only plays the 1, and he does not have Marnie, so Rillaboom Cody's hand will stay from this point onward. He could have just saved that. Could just save that boss order, so eventually when Cinderace Cody got a board state going and got a knockout on one of the Rillabooms, then he would have just then he could have just immediately brought up something on the bench and killed it. Because I think Cinderace Cody's way back in this game, and he could do it, is going for the going for the Cinderace VMAX. If he gets a new VMAX on, he can take 2 knockouts back to back. Knock out the first, whatever one comes up next, knock out that one. So that strategy would be null and void if his opponent had a boss's orders in play, but his opponent does not have a boss's orders in play anymore. Wasted that, and now he's giving his opponent a chance back in this game. We really need a welder, though, so why that, I think, was a bad play. It does slow him down, it does slow Cinderace Cody down. Still not what was needed. I mean, he could have just won. Slowing his opponent down is fine, but having a guaranteed win con is way better than slowing your opponent down. We do not get a welder. We still have not seen a welder. We are 33 minutes into this game. There was a welder there, but we have not seen a welder. And again, if you've ever played a welder deck before, you know that this is just frustrating. We're going to get just a base Malo and Lana just to get the Jirachi back in. Probably start trying to get a hearth or a welder for next turn. And do get a Pokecom. I think that's probably okay. Are we going to get the VMAX? Probably going to get the VMAX down. And yeah, if Cody, if he gets a welder next turn, and he's got to get a welder and he's got to get giant hearth. So I don't know. That's asking for a lot. But he's still a couple turns. Like that strategy, I think, is really good. If he can get a welder, he can get a giant hearth. They're both in deck, and then he gets a powered up Cinderace VMAX. As soon as that Cinderace VMAX is powered up, he's winning in 2 turns. He's basically guaranteed winning in 2 turns. But he's just got to get to that point, and we'll see what his opponent top decks. The net ball, that's not going to help him. It's not going to help him at all. Gonna at least, I don't think he has any even targets. You have no targets for the netball, but does have a target for the turf field stadium. So it does get out another Rillaboom V just to get it out. Increase those odds of hitting a switch for game. Is what switch or Maulana is what Rillaboom Cody's betting on. Gonna pass there. We get the giant hearth top deck. That is fantastic. If he hits a welder here, he is in such good shape. To come back from this game would be absolutely incredible. Again, the major misplay from Rillaboom Cody to not hang on to the boss's orders, but with how this game has been going, how he's not hit a welder and has a chance to win this game. Just needs to get the welder off the Stellar Wish here, and there's like no cards left in that deck. That looks real thin. And gets the welder. He gets the welder. I think he might be getting low on switch options though. See a scoop up net in there still, so he really needs to hit the scoop up net. Or he also does get third energy too, so still needs a bunch. But if he can get an attack off this turn, even if he does, if he can attack off this turn, it's definitely better, because he doesn't want to give his opponent time to just get his hand built back up. I don't see an energy or a switch option though, so that seems a little unfortunate. And yeah, so debating what he can do to thin this out. Gonna quick ball away another VMAX. Not gonna need it at this point. Just trying to thin it out. Gotta hit a switch option and gotta hit. He doesn't need the energy this turn. He can do it next turn. Yeah, no options to grab. No Pokemon to grab. So he's just gotta get a switch option. Really hoping he can top deck switch option. I don't know if he has access to Malo and Lana. I don't think he has any left. So I think we've seen a couple scoop up nets and a couple switches. Air balloon would work too. I don't think he has any air. No, he's not having air balloon left. They're both on the board right there. And let's see what Rillaboom Cody has. And he top decks the Maulana for game. That will be game. Switch into either of the Rillaboom V and take the prize. And we are going to game 3, ladies and gentlemen. This long back and forth game. Wasn't quite sure how that was going to end, but Rillaboom Cody takes it. Last prize. Doesn't matter. He's got the game. He is our winner. What an exhausting game. We will see you all tomorrow for Game 3, our finale. I hope you're there. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.